Good afternoon. Hello. Thank you for visiting with me today. It's Sunday. I hope you didn't come by yesterday. I wasn't home. I left the house pretty early yesterday morning at about 5:30 in the morning. I went and got gas and I went and got a extra large coffee. And I head out on a field trip. I drove south about 3.5 miles to meet a friend, a YouTube friend. I met with Sarah Nickel. We went to San Luis Obispo. And so I drove 101, very beautiful travel. There were it's in a valley. And there's a lot of farming that takes place in the valley. You get the morning mist and fog and sunshine all day long. And it's just a great place in our area to grow wine grapes. A lot of artichokes, strawberries. A lot of our fruits and vegetables come from that valley. It's coming down off the Santa Cruz Mountains and heading down into LA. So coastal, perfect coastal crisp. I did see a lot of signs along the highway warning me of bears. It's a diamond-shaped sign, and it has a mama bear and a couple little baby bears following after her. I didn't see any bears. I kept my eyes open after I saw the sign, but I didn't see any bears. Before I got there, my length of the journey was slightly longer than Sarah's length of the journey, but we tried really hard to meet kind of right in the middle. So I had a little bit of time before I actually went into town, and I stopped at a few little towns along the way that had antique, thrift. There was an antique mall, a thrift town, a town that had a bunch of thrift stores. I went into the smallest, tiniest Goodwill I have ever been in. They were so highly organized with that much stuff. It was pretty fun. And then I went into a little thrift store that was just called Thrift Store. It was smashed between a Subway restaurant and a laundromat. And when I walked in, down on the floor were two big old yarn storage containers full of doll clothes. At first I thought they were baby clothes, but then I could see the hand stitching on them and realized that they were doll clothes. So I eyeballed a couple of the pieces. And then I asked, well, how much are the doll clothes? And the gentleman behind the counter told me that they were $1/4 a piece. So I spent about 30 minutes going through the doll clothes and picking out, oh, she's Tattoo Baby. So I did find a little hat with eyelet lace, and her little bloomers have eyelet lace. And this is 2 pieces. It's a pretty little handmade dress with a little, I think they call them petticoats, pettifour. A little apron that crosses over the back. And everything is hand stitched on this adorable little dress. Absolutely adorable. So all these clothes will go in the basket, my little wicker picnic basket with my baby dolls and the clothes that I crochet for them. But what an interesting piece. So it kind of looks like a bib. How do I hold that? Comes up in the middle. If I hold it this way, we could see it. Look at how interesting this shape is. I think this is a very basic shape that could be crocheted into a summer top. What do you think? I see some increasing, some decreasing. Yeah, I think that's a very, very basic, it's inspired me. So you take it and this is the front. You take this edge, you wrap it under your arm, over the top of your opposite arm. Under your armpit, over the top of your opposite arm. Very basic shape, right? And then in the back, if it was a summer top or like a cover up, you just have this wrap. And it wouldn't necessarily need to be in a solid stitch. I've been inspired. So I'm going to test it out doll size. We'll see. And found a little matching boy outfit. They've hand stitched all the tiny little snaps on there. Adorable. I found lots of wonderful things. I don't want to bore you with things that are not crocheted, but it is a handcraft. They had these little snapped diapers with little plastic liners. They remind me of those babies that you used to be able to feed and give a little bottle to, the wet your pants dolls. I found this little bonnet. Whoop! Found this little tiny bonnet that doesn't quite fit on the big-headed baby. But as a simple design piece, it inspired me. A lot of these do fit the Cabbage Patch babies. Cute little culotte pants. Cute little hand-stitched. Somebody sat and made all these little, and I can tell they're hand-stitched in there. It's a little pair of tights that were probably actually for a real baby, but the little legs are so short they fit. Look at the little pockets. Eva, look at the little pockets. Eva Williams is crocheting a really nice piece with some little pockets. Hopefully it is in her very first YouTube video, which I will definitely share as soon as it hits the YouTube community. Little pair of overalls. So this I could crochet a little top for. And then, oh, I had these. I had to get them. It's a little carrier. You put your baby in there and then you've got your backpack strap. This one's not handmade. It actually has a tag in it, which is probably why it looked so familiar to me. This one was made in Brooklyn, New York. Yes, M&S Shellman Incorporated. 1983. Cabbage Patch. Okay, so I had this one, and you put it on the front of you like a little puppy carrier. Sarah brought her puppies yesterday. I'll get into that. Some little bloomers, some little jeans. Those were machine stitched, but they were handmade. They're not, just two more little pieces. Little jumper. This one has little seashells all over it. So I picked those up to add to my baby doll clothes collection. And an inspiration. I've got sizes, I've got basic fundamental shapes that I could use to combine. Excited about that. And so then I continued on to San Luis. I made it to the library. I thought they had public parking lots. They're actually public parking garages, which is fine. Your first hour is free, and then after that it was a couple of dollars. It wasn't that bad. The library, I guess not all libraries are equal. The library is across the street from City Hall, and it's in a big building, but the top floors are like law offices and community service offices. So when you walk into this huge building, there's the whole entryway where you walk in, and then it's like where it would be a huge lobby with elevators to the right. To the corner of the left of this lobby, they had not floor to ceiling. They had maybe 6-foot tall bookshelves, not as long as a grocery store aisle. Not very many books at all. They had magazines on the wall. I didn't see any craft magazines. They were all very politically driven, Forbes, investing, that sort of thing. They had a row of bar table desks laid out and bar stools with them, so they were pretty high up. And there were some computers to use. There's about 6 of them, which computers are expensive, so I understand, you know, that's hard. It's a hard resource for libraries to get their hands on. Maintenance of them and all that stuff is difficult. They're just, it was very open. There wasn't comfortable seating. Like at my library, there's like lounge areas where people could meet and in the community and sit and talk or work on projects together, or lounge comfy chairs and sit in different arrangements and little desks and stuff, little study areas, or like group rooms where you could rent a room and host like a meeting or a get together. It didn't have any of that. So that wasn't going to be a good place for Sarah and I to sit and talk, and we have a project that we want to work on. So that wasn't really a good option for that. In walking around, there was a huge tourist attraction, a mission, built in 1776. And one end of it is a huge long mission halls and missionary services. And the other end of it was a huge church. And all around it was a nice garden area. There was a lot of trellises where they had different wisteria and grapevines growing on. There's a lot of benches everywhere. There were a few different fountain areas. It was a beautiful park area. If the weather was better, that would be a great place to meet and be able to sit and crochet and talk and visit. The weather was overcast. It didn't sprinkle on my way over, but we had some heavy fog coverage. It did start raining about 1:30, 2 o'clock. It started raining. So in order to find something to get in out of the rain, we found a pub. It was Buffalo. It's called Buffalo Pub. It was nice. We got in out of the rain. We got to sit down. It was dog friendly. They welcomed her 2 pups in. We sat there for a little while, and then we kind of made our way up to a little yarn shop. It's called Yarn at the Adobe. It's in a historical building. On the outside, when you get ready to come in, they have a huge tree popping up out of the sidewalk, and they've yarn bombed it. They have different swatches of different color and fun fibers that people have covered this trunk of this tree in. It's amazing. And they have clothespins all the way around it, and it's called the Giving Tree. And you can leave an item that you've made for people to stay warm that are passing by. The Giving Tree was soaked. Giving Tree was soaked. If I get a chance to go back, I have quite a few hats. I'd love to take one and leave it, and hopefully it finds a loving family. Home. Somebody, a head to sit on, right? So that was fun. And then when we went into the shop, it was quaint. It was small. I think they do most of their yarn purchasing online. There wasn't a huge variety in fibers. We got like a little fly in here. I'm gonna ignore you. They had quite a few. They were mainly focused on knitting, and I did find some magazines and pattern books. Noro. Yes, I still have that Noro from the yarn crawl. I'm still looking for a pattern for it. This Noro catalog, I didn't have any of these. And she had a few more, but I wasn't sure if I already had those or not. So I think I need to lay my Noro catalog magazine pattern books out and take a picture. That way when I'm out roaming around, if I see one, I'll know if I already have it. But 50 cents. Nice. And there's knit and crochet in every Noro one. I don't necessarily only want to crochet with my sweater quantity, but I don't know. I'm just looking, you know, Nora was such a desirable wish list yarn for me that when I finally got my hands on it, now I don't know what to make with it. I've seen so many incredible patterns, and I have a few flagged, some incredible patterns that really speak to me. Two of them, I'm not sure if my skill level's there, but you know, it's one of those long process projects. I'm in no rush. And then I found book 3, Nora book 3, 50 cents. And there are some incredible pictures in here. This one, these pictures were actually taken on scene at Ripley Castle, North Yorkshire. I'm going to take these with me tonight. I have an overnight shift. And I'm going to take some little page tab markers. Ryan must have won. His bedroom's one down the hall, so when he wins, we all win. So I'm going to take those with me tonight and flip through those a bit. So after we went there, it was raining pretty hard. The dogs needed to get out and stretch their legs a little bit. So we head away from that downtown area. It's full of shops. There was a little sandal flip-flop shop that unfortunately they were going out of business. And I did see some signs that said high parking prices pushing small businesses out of downtown. So that's kind of sad. So they were clearancing out. They had some really awesome big brand flip-flops and sandals. It would have been nice to get into that clearance earlier in their process because there were awesome flip-flops, but all the sizes were super small, like 4 or 5 or 11, 12. Lots of men's sandals. Hey men, if you wear sandals, flip-flops, go to San Luis Obispo and pick up some $10 awesome sandals. Let's see. So then we decided we went to a totally different shopping center. Let's see. We went to Micheals. They had a Micheals, and then in the same shopping center, they had a Hobby Lobby. I was trying to find, so I have this yarn that I purchased a very, very long time ago. And it's got some beautiful, vibrant color in it. It's gorgeous, but I only have one. It is a super fine one weight. That's a challenge because a lot of big box stores and even small stores don't really carry much one weight. It is 70% superwash merino. I want to find something similar, 20% cashmere and 10% nylon. So I want to find, this is 600 yards. I would like to find something complementary, one weight, that I could make up the difference with and make something spectacular. I want a sweater quantity of something. Because I just think that starting at the neckline and having it be this bright, vibrant blue and having it fade out into the dark blue, and it's a black blue, a heathered kind of, I can see the white peeking through in bits. I took it with me. I thought maybe the little yarn shop might have something. I thought that maybe, I've looked at my Micheals and my Hobby Lobby around here and haven't found anything, but I thought, you know, traveling to a different location, I might be able to find something. I think my best bet would be to take this with me to the Dixon Fiber Festival in October. If you'd love to go with me, I'll take you along. It's a 2-day event where lots and lots of vendors all over the Bay Area and Northern California get together, and they sell fibers. They have workshops on spinning, workshops on different techniques of knitting or crocheting too. It's pretty equal. There's a lot of yarn sales, hook sales, a lot of yarn bowls, ceramic and wood. It's a fun event. People make stitch markers, and then there's some random timed meetups that people get together and swap stitch markers and, hey, where are you from? you know, meet people in person. So this is definitely going with me on that adventure. Definitely, definitely. Let me put that right here under your chair. So I took that. Oh, and Hobby Lobby had their Easter stuff out. Look at that. A little hooked on wishing. I love these butter cookies. Oh man, there's so much sugar in them. Once in a while with my coffee, if they even last that long, is just an extra, extra super treat. As soon as the kids see them, they'll disappear. So Sarah and I got together. We want to work on a pattern together. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't on our side, so we need to make another plan to meet up again when the weather's nicer. Maybe a beach meetup. There's a lot of little coastal towns where we can grab coffee and lunch and hang out. We found this pattern. It's a ballerina cardigan. Look at the glorious texture in it. Isn't it beautiful? This one was Ravelry. It's the first pattern I ever purchased on Ravelry, and it didn't save to my library. So I'm glad that it did send a link to my email, and then I was able to print it out. I printed it out. I think I'm making an extra large, and I need 1,968 yards to complete this in Amy size. So I've got my pattern printed out. I did it in color because this glorious pattern, which is also left-handed friendly, they show left-handed and right-handed, but one of the awesome things, and I think I can show you a sample without showing you any bit of the pattern. Yes, right here in her instruction page, it says all black rows are on the right side. So as you're flipping through, it has a graph, it has written, it's an amazingly written pattern. But it's telling you if you're left-handed and you're working it the other way, the rows are in different colors, so you can swap those back and forth. It's gonna be awesome. What fiber did I pick? A while ago, it's probably pretty safe to say about a year ago, I was at a Goodwill store. Maybe it was a Savers, now that I think of it. No. The price tag says Goodwill. I found this. Yes, I found all this luxury cotton for $3.99. And then while poking around a little bit more, I found all this, which is not as much. So with the savings wasn't as big, but I have more than enough of this deep, I want to say it's a navy blue. I don't think they actually gave it a color. It's 100% cotton. Did they give it a color name? They did not. Oh, that is a missed opportunity. I could have thought of so many beautiful names for this cotton. Made in Macedonia. Mace, M-A-C-E. Donia, D-O-N-I-A. Macedonia, Mace. What is it? It's 100% cotton. The weight, there's no gauge on the cardigan. You make it to fit you. The gauge is, I would say it's a 1. Which is what I had that other soft yarn in mind for, but I have plenty of this. It's got a nice sheen to it. It's not going to pill at all. It can be washed. It can be dried. It's a nice cotton. Where I live, it usually bundled up. It usually doesn't get cold. Majority of the year, cotton's perfect. It's absorbent. Of course, I'm going to do the quarter sleeve so it's comfortable. I just think this cotton would be more year-round for me. Yeah. So I have my yarn picked out. I've got my pattern printed out. I got my hooks. I grabbed a bunch of different hooks because I want to check drape. There isn't a gauge for the cardigan, but I want my drape because it's a corded cotton. I want the stitches to be able to fall into themselves and become comfortable, but I don't want it to be lacy loopy. So I pulled out 3.75. I pulled out a 3.5, a 3.75, and a 4. And then I got my polymer clay shed Halloween, which is a D stamped on the bottom so it never rubs off. So since I was going to work that hook, I figured why not just make it candy time and use, I think it was a Joann's bag. I think Joann's had these candy time bags. So that's my project bag that I'm going to keep my my Sarah Nickel project in. So we didn't get started. I know, we met and we had a great day, but we didn't chain up. We will. The weather, I mean, spring's almost here, right? Spring's almost here. We got tons of beaches. We got time. We'll make that work. While I was sitting in the park, I was able to, I'm going to take this with me again tonight. Get 8 hours in on this one. This is the shoulder top that I've been working on. I am just about even on the sleeves. Let's see. Oh, I did it. See, I was sitting at the mission by the Catholic Church and it all just fell together. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to have to count the rows just to make sure, but I think I'm ready. Okay, so tonight when I sit down with my hook, yeah, wow, look at there. Okay, so tonight when I sit down with my hook, I'm going to put that very simple border. I just did three single crochets, a chain 3 picot in the middle of them. I'm going to do that around this sleeve. How much yarn do I have? Oh yeah, this is easily half. It's not even really that floppy. And then I have a whole nother ball. So now I'm working the length. So change my mind on the length too, right? Because I can do that. We're working as we go. Before I start the length, I want to redo the bands that go over that make the the peekaboo shoulder. I made mine too thick. I only made them 2 windows wide because I wanted them to match that. But for wearing a tank top under it, some of my tank tops are thicker. They're not the spaghetti strap. So I actually want to make my windows 4 and 4. So I'm going to redo the windows, and then all the rest of the yarn is going to go pretty much into the bottom. I'm going to make it 20 inches from my armpit to my comfort. And then I'm going to split and add, because the 20 inches is right about my hip when I remeasured. So tonight, finish up the sleeve and then just start length. And length is going to be just working, which is excellent for a long period of time, like an 8-hour shift. I could just work on that. So that will be going with me tonight. Got a lot going on, huh? So then I drove home. On my way home, I needed to stretch my legs and get out of the car for a minute, and I was looking for something to snack on. So I went into a 99-cent store. Is that what it's called? 99-cent? Usually I go to $1.25 Tree, but there was a 99-cent store. Only at the 99. It's a 99-cent store. And I found these cute little sticky notes with little country flowers on them. How cute is that? That's going with me to mark pages in my Noro probably. And then for my patterns, I think Mikey at the Crochet Crowd showed me in the very, 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 very beginning of garment making to go through and highlight your size and all the numbers that go along with your size in the very beginning when you're kind of proofreading, getting to know your pattern before you start. And highlighters are awesome for that. Look at those. How cool is that? It reminded me of those pens where they have like the little tabs inside of the core of the pencil, and you take the pencil out of the bottom and put it in the top, and if you lose one, your pencil's no good. It reminded me of one of those. They're little seashells. that was fun. So my whip cart is getting a beach theme to the end of it. So picked up one of those and I came home. Got home pretty late. Got home. So let's see, I left the house about 5:30, but didn't hit the road till closer to 6. And then got home a little after 10:30. About 10, just say 10:30. So I had a nice long day. I had a nice long day of adventuring and having a good time. It was filled full of coffee from beginning to end, the good stuff. Had pizza in the afternoon at a little Italian restaurant. Oh, so it was like a lunch special. I got a slice of pizza, and then I got to pick a salad. And one of the salads they had was beet orange salad, and they were marinated roasted beets, chopped up. And then they had some amazing orange that was like slightly tart oranges, kind of. Not mandarins, but like just chopped up California orange. And man, what such a simple salad. Oh, it was incredible. I wish I could have gotten some to bring home just to nibble on for the next few days. I'm gonna try and make it. It was really good. So good food, delicious coffee, excellent company. Wonderful day yesterday. Thank you so much for coming today to visit with me, and I get to tell you all about it. Sarah and I do plan on getting together when the weather's a little bit better, so we have more options to just sit and crochet and work. But it was definitely fun getting to meet a new friend in person. So that's about it. Thank you. Take care, friend. I hope you're working on a crochet project today. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to know what's on your hook. What's on your needles? What are you working on? Maybe you're just cleaning up your craft area today. Start a brand new week of crafting. Let me know. I'd love to know. Take care, friend. Bye.